in-game ad. Oh yeah,
Ubisoft started showing full-screen pop-up ad during
the article that
middle of
we just read.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey gameplay this week. Ubisoft tells Verge it was a technical error. Full-screen pop-up appeared in Assassin's Creed Odyssey for some players this week. Well, this is confusing. It says the video ad appeared during the middle of gameplay.
Oh, we didn't see any of this.
Okay, so this was an actual user. What I usually say about...
That would be so infuriating. And I've noticed this a few times. Even when ads pop up in like the consoles, like I know people see that nowadays where you boot up your Xbox or your PlayStation and they have ads right away. I can't believe that. I'm like, I paid for this thing. Like, I haven't bought a console in years, but every single time I see a modern Xbox or PlayStation, it's like an advertisement machine. It's not a console anymore. Consoles literally used to be you bought it, the game ran, and that was it. That's all you did. But now they're literally like advertisements right there in your face.
Stuff like this is that one point on a graph doesn't mean anything, but multiple points make a line. And this is... Nobody wants to get an ad every time they open up their map in a video game. And do you know why they don't want that? Let me tell you why. It's because if you have to open your map every single time, and every time you open your map you get an ad, what's going to happen is they're going to take the mini-map out of video games. That way you have to refer to your map more often, and you have to use it more often, which will cause you to interface with the ads more frequently.
I agree.
So yes, I find this to be very problematic, and I don't think that it should exist. So yes, in-game advertisement. Oh, I have no problem with them advertising things in-game, and they're completely within their right of doing it. However, I do think that it's not good for the consumer. And I think that consumers should try, I mean, gamers...
I think things should be advertised in engine, but advertised in game where it like stops your gameplay and makes you look at it. Never. Like, I don't mind there being a billboard for something. Or I don't mind, let's say Assassin's Creed, and it's like, oh, get this person's Gucci handbag, right? Like, that'd be totally fine to me. But the fact that you have to like stop it, I think ads are really good when you barely even notice they're an ad, when they're just integrated into whatever you're doing. And even though you can say that, like, I know there's lots of rules behind saying what's an ad or not, but I think things can be ads and very clear that they're ads, clear that they're paid sponsorships without having to stop and totally redirect the gameplay.
Rise up. Try to push back against this kind of stuff. I don't think that we have enough data here to go and say, yes, this is what's happening. Ubisoft did it on purpose. Because, and here's why I think that's not the case. This is a user playing a video game that you can buy, right? Everybody can buy this game right now and play it themselves. It's a 2018 game. So what do you think the odds are that only one user ever has had this happen, and it's actually some sort of grand design plan by Ubisoft? I find this to be very, very low. This is an extremely low probability, right? This is a 0% probability.
Yeah, but it was recorded. That's the biggest thing. Oh, thank you so much, Wisebot, for muting an absolutely massive bot spam. Appreciate it.
And I don't think that it's something that we could really like. I don't think that this does not warrant a hate video about Ubisoft for. However, it does express a lot of trepidation and concern that a lot of people have, because we're sick of having every single different version. Like, after you buy, it's like you buy a movie and there's ads in the middle of the movie. It's awful. This kind of shit should be considered unacceptable. Well, this is the problem. I've really got to stop you there. The word should is such a useless word.
It's loaded. Should doesn't...
Like, this is the most meaningless word ever.
Absolutely.
The only thing that the gaming community can actually rally behind right now is hating NFT games. And the only...
I don't rally behind it. So I rally behind hating games. I agree with him. I rally behind hating NFT games. I don't hate NFTs in games. Like, I kind of wish that Counter-Strike skins were NFTs, but
reason that the gaming community can rally around hating NFT games is because every NFT game that comes out is garbage. True. Whenever a good NFT game comes out, people are going to play it and they're not going to care.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah.
Exactly.
Not many people play this game lately, so it's hard to say either way. Yeah, but I bet a ton of people, as soon as this happened, probably logged on and tried to do it themselves and didn't recreate the bug. So if nobody else was able to recreate this, then it probably didn't happen. Which companies nowadays are good?
None.
The good game developers.
Most of the indie ones are actually excellent.
Like game developers that I would pre-order from. Larian, From Software, Nintendo, Grinding Gear Games, Capcom, Riot, Rockstar. I would, yeah. I mean, they've never delivered a bad game. And if they did, it was like a really long time ago and it was like a remaster or something like that. They've never really delivered a new bad game, if that makes sense. Yeah, this is my personal opinion. I mean, it doesn't really mean anything, but that's like my off the top of my head list. We'll read some comments about this since obviously I missed out on it. That's a Ubisoft pop-up, not an Xbox one, before people start getting riled up that Xbox is forcing ads. Yeah, of course, it's Ubisoft, the same people who added grind to their games and then DLC.
Like, it's clearly a feature, and they thought about it as a feature. Now, and it's a feature that someone deliberately patched into the system, but I can imagine that it's a feature that slipped by a lot of people, too. Because there can be decisions that are like, yeah, sure, whatever, go do it. And someone's like, well, we can do this. Yeah, just get it done. That's fine. That sounds good. That they don't really think, like, we have ads in other games. We're good. Yeah, just throw it in. We're fine. But this, I don't know. This is a weird one.
To lessen paid grind. There it is. Nice Ubisoft classy as always. Is this real? If
hopefully
not,
there's
fuck
some
Ubisoft.
YouTuber that goes in and like looks it up. And
oh, that's gross.
Checks into what?
I feel like a lot of people are
looks up the history of what happened here.
Like they're I think they're overreacting. I do. I think that people are overreacting to this. So this is what Ubisoft said. Ubisoft is blaming a technical error for a full-screen pop-up ad that appears in Assassin's Creed Odyssey this week. Reddit users say they spotted. What do you mean they? There's been 2 people who have said this. Happened to me in Injustice 2 earlier. Huh.
Maybe it's an engine update. I feel like it's probably an engine update. If it's happening in other games where things are popping up, they probably... This is the hard part about engines, is there's features stacked upon features stacked upon features. So there can be a decision made by a certain group where they're like, well, we have a multiplayer system that loads information into certain games. We have 10 games that have it. The update, we can press one button, update them all at once. Yeah, let's press one button, update the engine for all of them. And then now they all have some kind of feature to wait for potential ad reads. And then another department comes in that deals with in-game advertisement, puts together the system that sends ads out to the API, but the API sends it to all of the games instead of sending it to just a few games that have it enabled, and then you end up with advertisements popping up. That's probably the way I can see this happening.
Well, now this is what I saw. Like, so this is what I thought. I thought that this person was misrepresenting what happened because it only happened to one person. But in fact, it had happened to 2 people that had reported this happening to them. So, yeah, they can mean singular. Yes, but users isn't singular. That's how I know that they weren't referring to they as like a third gender thing or something like that. Users is plural. They can be singular. Yeah, so basically this article, they got 2 guide. Fair enough, but still, yeah, no, people, it would be nice if people understood English, but it's okay. What's the rest of this? This is disgusting to experience while playing, remarked one Reddit user, summarizing the general feeling against such pop-ups in the middle of gameplay. And then Ubisoft responds to this, and it says, we've been made aware that some players encountered pop-up ads while playing certain Assassin's Creed titles yesterday. And this is
I really think
Ubisoft
that's it. It's going to
spokesperson.
be like their advertisement department got access to an API, and then someone said yes to pushing out those ads to specific servers, and those servers had access to the updates on the games within a certain setup, and nobody really thought about it. They were just pushing the ads out through the ad pipeline.
This was the result of a technical error that we addressed as soon as we learned of the issue. Okay. Well, hopefully they're not lying. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not ready to torch them based off of one thing like this. I'm sorry, guys. I know you always want me to go on the warpath for something like this, but I usually allow a person one mistake. I am. I'm going to give them one mistake, but I will also say that if this continues to be the case and it is not an accident in future games, then I will consider it extremely problematic, man. That's what I think. No, torch the shit out of them. This was planned at some point. They thought about this and then they accidentally deployed it. Well, I don't know why it happened. I don't understand the way the code works in this kind of a game. I have no idea.
All right, I'm going to paint it quickly, guys. We're going to do Paint 3D just to show everybody what can kind of happen. Maybe this is a little bit too detailed breakdown of these kind of systems, but you have, let's go to brushes. You have the engine. I do E. The engine. Okay. And the engine has games that pop out of it. Games. G-A-M-E-S. It's got games that come out of it. Okay. This layer can be updated. The engine can actually receive updates from, we'll do different colors here. The engine can receive different updates from the devs, the developer environments. Okay. And then those updates are made decisions by a corporate structure. C-O-R. Corporate structure. Now, what can happen is the developers push out an update. Let's use green. They push out an update to the engine. And the engine technically goes out to this, like all the different games. Okay. Now corporate comes along, makes a decision, goes, hey, we have a whole bunch of games that have this specific support. Let's say these purple. These games have support for this style of feature, this advertisement feature. Now corporate makes the decision, okay, we're going to push the update out to everybody. So the developers get the update, and the developers then push that, or get the system. The developers then push that update out to the engine, and the engine then updates everybody to that feature subtly without even realizing it. Then the ad companies come in, and we'll use brown, like poo. Ad companies come in. Okay. And ad companies get access to some developer tools. Now the ad pushes, or the ad company pushes the update into this environment. The ad gets pushed out to the engine. The engine pushes out to all the games. Every game gets the advertisement. And the developers for one game are left going, bro. And the players for this one game are like, bro, we didn't originally have ads, or we didn't originally have this system for our game. But through this big chain of command, we've by accidentally updated the game that didn't have any of these features with that type of feature. So that's easily what happens in this kind of issue. And they'll call it a technical issue because what it meant is that their advertisement network pushed an update out to developer tools, and the developer tools pushed it out to the engine pushed it out to a game which wasn't really meant to do it. It wasn't a bug. It did exactly what it was supposed to. It's just it was technically wrong for what it was supposed to.
All I'm saying is that I think that it's okay to afford a person a singular mistake, but if it continues happening, then yes, I will be farming a lot of videos about how bad this is. Yeah. The software developer, this went through many checks. I think it did too, because like, you know how much work and time it takes in order to approve something to go on console?
Well, it did go through a lot of
It's like even
checks.
Blizzard talked about this.
But the impacts of those checks
As much as a show for corporate companies?
wasn't considered. You don't really, like, if it's not in the list of things to check, then people are going to push the update through anyways. People are going to assume all the way down the ladder. Now, there's somebody who may go, hey, wait a minute, this doesn't seem to be right. But if he goes to the upper management, the management goes, well, that's a list of a feature that's coming out on an update, then it's going to be pushed out anyways, right? Like, they're going to go, oh, I don't think so, but okay, we're going to do it.
Am I? Well, let me find out why. Why am I a shill?
Yeah, Asmon, why are you a shill? You shill?
What? How am I shilling? What Ubisoft game have I ever played? You think I give a fuck about Assassin's Creed? I think it's the stupidest fucking game I've ever seen. It's boring.
Most
I don't care about this fucking
boring.
company.
Is that all it is?
Go ahead,
Asmon?
explain how I'm a shill.
Just getting
This
mad
happened.
at a viewer? Okay. Yeah, in-game ads.